Hi, my name is Carl Johann Schroeder. I've been studying spiritual truths all my life, and a primary question that I've always wanted to answer, and I have answered, and I want to share with you the answer because going over the answer helps me too. The answer to the question of why can people be so cruel? Why are they so cruel? That's the name of this talk. Why are they so cruel? And this is coming up a lot because I've actually been very fortunate. I've lived in the United States that up until the 2000s, we're in 2025 now, until rather recently, our government was pretty decent. And now there's actually a wannabe dictator in charge. And people are very, very upset and stressed out. We are actually having the kind of horrors of dictatorships, fascist dictatorships, people being abducted, the guy is trying to disappear people. So people in my country, we're experiencing some more of, and we always have experienced some of the kind of violence that have tormented people throughout the ages. We've had racism in this country. We've had violence at times. We've had domestic terrorism. And we've gotten involved in wars and just, my God, the things that humanity goes through. It's horrible, right? And, I mean, the thing is, this is a time to really bring this stuff out and really talk about it because there are answers. There are answers. Don't give up. See, we're going to talk about how the paradigm of the true universe, how the universe actually works, is so freaking different from what we were taught. I mean, it's taken me... I got the theory at first that the universe is actually not that difficult to understand. We've actually been raised here on Earth, and for a reason, there's growth to be had in the experiences we've gone through. But we've been raised with a lot of false, negative belief systems which make things really complicated and really suffering. One of the great horrible characteristics of false negative belief systems is that they shock you, telling you that the world is a horrible place, hit you with a whole bunch of scary images and scary threats that aren't true, that don't have to be true. They can get manifested, they can get enacted by you and other people, you getting involved with cruel people. But the actual universe runs beautifully. You don't have to fix it, and it is completely loving, completely generous, completely successful. There's no good reason to stick around with negativity. There's a short-term benefit of studying. Short-term suffering. The idea is get in and get out of learning what false negative beliefs are about and why being on Earth is a huge challenge to master belief systems. There are true beliefs, true positive beliefs let through the love of the universe. Look, we got to talk about how the universe really works because you know, and I know, and all the people who have an open heart who care about human beings know that something's really broken. And what's really interesting is that the false negative belief systems are characterized by telling you the universe is broken and here's how you can fix it. And you will try and you will try and you will burn out and you will get more and more hurt. And it's wrong. It's false. The way to fix things, it's very interesting. The way to fix things is just sort of turn up the volume, focus on what works, and you open up into a universe that has always worked, that always will work. See, this is the wonderful thing about how the universe really works. You may have heard that all time is simultaneous. Physicists had known about this since Einstein and special relativity. The time-space are one continuum, and our minds create the experiences somehow. And Einstein himself, there are a lot of fake Einstein quotes on the internet, but a real quote is that he said, time and space are not conditions by which we live, they are modes by which we think. We think in terms of time and space. It just sort of isn't really there. It's all simultaneous. Okay, it's all there. It's all eternally there. So what works always worked, and what doesn't work never worked, and will never work, okay? All the suffering, all the struggling is actually some level of buying into false negative beliefs. They hook you for as long as they can because, honestly, any one false negative belief makes you feel so bad, cuts you off from your original source, the universe that totally works, that is a total bliss, a total heaven. It already exists. It's already solved. Okay? You don't have to fix the universe. When you tune into that, when you come from that bliss, that joy, that security, that comfort of knowing that the universe is alive and it loves you, and everything around you is alive and it loves you, and you are a vital part of one great system. You have systems inside of you, you have systems around you of which you are part. It's an amazing flowing universe. These systems give more that sense of eternity that really is there. You notice all the chronology, strict adhering chronology, like you only get one chance and never again, and you better work hard and someday maybe you'll get this. All of the suffering and struggle, and fight for freedom. When we conquer this country, when we get rid of all the enemies, then we'll have peace. No, they're all inconsistent states that perpetuate suffering. False negative beliefs. Learn to recognize them because you need to disbelieve them. We got to talk about how the universe really works. And that's why people are so cruel, because when you are separated from the original thriving universe of which you are a part, of which you are a form, actually each person, each consciousness is the entire universe seeing itself through your perspective. That's not a weird alienating thing. It means that you, in your greatest moments, and in the times that you're flowing, you're so happy, you're so joyful, like everything, you love everything, everything loves you. Your real self, the self you're trying to be all the time, that's the real eternal you. That is the you that is in the joy of a universe that's alive. It's a thriving system, and you are a benefactor of that. You basically, you know what the universe is really like? See, I'm getting kind of passionate about this because we're going to talk about cruelty, and we're going to talk about what kinds of cruelty breed cruelty, and it starts with the negative belief systems. There's been way too much simplistic thinking, buying into the lies that, it's that tribe over there, they're the problem, or if we just get rid of this, or if we make everybody adhere to these rules, and like lots of punishments to deter not following the rules. That's the stuff of nightmares. That's what breaks the system. No, you've actually got an eternal, resilient system in which you can easily do your part, do your best, do your creative joy, what you came here to do, what you come anywhere to do. That is your divine personality. I call it the essential service. You have a divine personality. And others call it, Bashar, channeled entity, he calls it your signature vibration. Your inner being of Abraham Hicks, but your essence, your essential service. I'd like to say service because it focuses on a sense of action. You're doing a service who for who? Sacrificing? No. You're giving to the community of which you are a part. Whether you're focused on giving to another one, it benefits you. You're a vital part of this community, and they give to you. What you put out, you get back. See, that's a fundamental truth of the universe, and it goes back to consciousness. You are actually living in your own consciousness all the time. So that's why cruelty, people who are cruel, really affect you because you're feeling it. That is when you are an empathic person, a decent, caring, responsive human being who is willing, courageous, has the belief system support to feel what's going on, to care about your feelings, to care about other people's feelings. Feelings, emotions, they are what keep things real. Human beings, you are a spirit in a human body, and you are also that human being. Okay, you have a greater consciousness, you're a greater being that you come from. It's always greater than you know. Like I said, do your best and let the rest do the rest. But you come from a paradise. You see, each consciousness makes its own copy of everything. That just makes sense, right? Your consciousness is your unique position, like your life story, everything leading up to this moment and this moment of perceiving and all the things you hope and dream and directions you feel like you're going in. It's a huge story. It's your unique consciousness. So you will always see things differently than other people. So it's kind of like, your computer. You download a copy of a website. When you browse to a website, you don't change the website by you looking at it unless you have some, a way to change it. Now, the metaphors could break down there, but look, there is a source paradise universe, and that source is a multiverse, and every consciousness within it has the birthright, the inheritance to be as successful and loving as the whole. And it's a fractal. It's, the fractal is where you see the pattern goes in and the pattern comes out, and you can zoom in and zoom out. You see all these recurring patterns. There are certain recurring patterns of the universe. It's not that complicated of a place. But then, like the table of elements, in chemistry, a limited number of elements with a few rules of chemistry, my God, you get it like incredible. See, the rules of the universe can be infinitely applied to your life. That's why the theory of how life works isn't actually that hard to learn. And then applying it is complex. There's a lot of steps. But what's wonderful about it is every step you make, you feel really good. And you meet more of the living, loving universe and all your spiritual friends and your soul family. You come alive. I mean, it's the journey. The journey is the destination. You have such a great time healing and growing. You're kind of, flexible. You're like, well, let's see what happens next. I'm open. I mean, if every day you knew you were going to get a gift from somebody who really loved you and just looked after you and like you trust them and you've known each other for so long, like forever. It's like, that's what it's like. It's like, learn how the universe actually works, the real, true rules, and that will comfort you and enable you to relax into the kind of healing you need to recover from, yes, you've had damage. And the cruel people in the world, they are damaged. We are going to look at how to understand damaged people so that they don't damage you. And there's going to be, it gets a little intense. You have to be willing to get your feet wet, okay? But you get better at these things. And like I said, come on, I mean, if it ever gets too hard, if you're too lonely, too scared, it hurts, call in more help. You don't have enough help. Like, there's a lot of sayings like no pain, no gain. If life was easy, we wouldn't care about it. We wouldn't do it. It's like bull crap, okay? The metaphor I came up with, like, life is as easy. Life can be as easy as going to a wonderful school with wonderful teachers to learn hands-on creative ways of learning about your favorite topics, the things you always wanted to do and try, and to learn with the most wonderful classmates, your best friends, and together you make plans for the future and you try things out. And it's like, well, that's challenging, right? Yeah, it's challenging. Okay, the challenge of life, the life doesn't have to be hard. No struggle, no pain, no suffering, none of that is needed. It can be experienced, and you need to learn from having had that experience, learn about how you got into it so you don't have to go into it again, so you can make sure you stay away from it, what you don't like. But life does not have to be suffering. Life is not about cruelty. Why are they so cruel? Because they haven't learned yet how to master false beliefs. The false beliefs that tell you lies, that disconnect you from the living, loving universe, that make you feel scared and alone. And if you keep going down that path of thinking you're powerless, there's a thing inside of you that's going to rise up, a survivalism, a really nasty, cutthroat survivalism. And that's what you see coming through some people. Really sociopathic, pathologically lying, really nasty, manipulative personalities that don't even feel human. They don't feel human. There's still a human being in there. You don't say anybody's like, purely evil, disposable, anything like that. No, my God, that would be right back into the negativity. You're looking like a doctor at ill people, whatever kind of medicine you believe in, what works for you. But some kind of healing, you're looking at with compassion at all these people. They're suffering. The worst thing, though, is when you can get so far down into negativity. So let's talk about negativity is not just the mean people. Yes, advanced forms of negativity, you get really mean. You don't care about people's feelings. What those people are really trying to do is they're trying to keep burying and offloading the pain of their false negative beliefs that have cut them off from the universe so that they're scared and alone, and they just constantly think in terms of enemies and dangers, and they're trying to survive, and they don't even have like time and space emotionally to care about themselves or others. They're becoming a survival machine. The negative ego is very dangerous. And that's what's driving all the cruelty. But yeah, negativity is not just about being mean. Negativity is also the victims. Ooh, what are you blaming the victims? No, that's what negativity does, is blame the victims. The bullies blame the victims. No, everybody's a victim, okay? Some people are more directly abusing other victims. They're all victims of negativity. And you don't have to stay a victim. You don't have to feel sorry for yourself. You don't have to feel sorry for others. You don't have to rescue people when you wake up. Realize that everybody has their own connection to the universe, the living and loving universe. They have their own soul. That's another word for your divine essence, your essential being. Like, it's a being that's also an act of doing. That's why I call it essential service. What my essential service? I mean, you can think in terms of the chakras. You go up the chakras, learn about the chakra system, but you think about, like, at each chakra level, what do I really care about? And you can come up with sort of 7 sort of values or goals for your life, and then you sense behind all that is a personality of what you came here to do. You're going to learn a certain number of lessons to get off a certain number of negative beliefs that are keeping you dysfunctional and suffering. And then you'll be really positive and healing, and that's it for eternity. Okay, you just wanted to learn some lessons about deeper creatorship. See, I've talked about this kind of stuff before, and it's so important. I mean, just, each time I can say it a little differently too. And I love addressing these different topics. And this one came up: why are people so cruel? Because I was reading about, in my country at this time, there are fears of immigrants. That's actually in a lot of countries, right? There's some immigrants, some foreigners, some whatever. So the fascist government, a fascist government is a government built on hate. Not just being an authoritarian, totalitarian, you better do what I say, but actually, like, let me stoke hate to get these people all divided and conquered, and I'll keep taking advantage of this. And they're not so brilliant, okay? Like, people got to stop thinking like, ooh, evil genius, ooh, like they're so, they must have planned it to be that way. They're scheming what would be the most scary thing to scare people with, and like, no, that's actually, they're puppet, they're total pawn. All these people are trying to act like really tough and dangerous in their negativity. They are a totally weak pawn. They are just expressing directly how false negative belief systems work. False negative belief systems, they pile on you a whole bunch of scary, threatening lies, and so it's about disempowerment. That's the fundamental characteristic of negativity. It's a direction of disempowerment. And the other direction is the positive direction of true beliefs that let in more of the living, loving universe that wants to help you thrive, to have a wonderful life as more and more of the real you. So, empowerment. The positive direction is empowering, and when you're empowered, you love. I mean, if you had all the resources, if you knew how everything worked, if you knew that you could have the most wonderful life and you could solve everybody's problems and they could have most wonderful lives with you too, and you just live in a world of peace and friends, why wouldn't you do that? Of course you would do that. Obviously, the people who are creating wars and suffering and they're so cruel, they don't know. They're so separated from how the universe really works. So let's paint a picture here, okay? Because when you have the structure for how the universe really works, then we'll talk about going back to childhood wounds and what kinds of history, biography, and we have, and how that can be healed. So I don't know how long this will be, but this is an important topic. And what was really sweet? See, it's taken me years to really get good at putting all the pieces together and getting used to like simultaneous time, creating my own reality. I have my version of everything, like kind of rescuing or the urges to rescue. That's actually me wanting to recover, soul retrieval parts of myself from situations. See what happens is, okay, this is the way it really works. Everyone is the entire universe. Every consciousness is the entire universe, learning how to like enjoy itself, make positive, unique use of all of the intelligence and love and wisdom and brilliance and creativity and generosity and abundance of the universe through your life. You're meant to have the most amazing, freaking amazing, wonderful eternity ever. Okay? just naturally, like you're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like there are a lot of worlds that are totally positive, and they look at Earth and they're like, oh my God, what are those people doing to themselves? There are a lot of worlds where there's just total positive energy, and life is fantastic and amazing. And why would anybody come to Earth? Is it a punishment? No, God, no. It's an elected, it's a privilege, it's an honor to be allowed to allow yourself to go into the Earth system. It's also very courageous. What is happening is it's a dangerous place. There are false negative beliefs that can really screw you up, mess you up, make you suffer. It's terrible. The suffering is real. The belief systems create experience in an illusionary virtual reality. Okay, this stuff is all a virtual reality. Very consistent. You're in it too. So a big part of you is invested in being here. That's why it feels so real. But it's the impact, the emotional impact, how people affect each other, how you use things. It's not what you have. A pile of money, who cares? You could be miserable. It's how you use the money you have, and be open to receiving whatever money you need, whatever resources you need. Wealth is whatever resources you need to thrive. The universe will give to you naturally. It's like we're just wanting to thrive. The real paradigm, the way it really works, is you're meant to just let your essential being, your essential service, let it just happen. Let it just flow. The seed of you, the eternal seed of you, let it just grow. You're like a flower and you just grow. And you're meant to have everything work out, no stress, no problems, just learning like a good class at a good college with all your friends, just learning. You're meant to really enjoy your life and learn how it goes together and say, aha, now I can do more of that next time with you. Always with together. It's like, there's no like, you got to do this all alone. Oh my God, so many years I suffered. I mean, oh my God, I remember like, different phases of my life where I'd be like, geez, the world doesn't work. And yet I love Earth. I'm committed to being here. There's no question. I've got to figure it out. And going through phases of, when I figure something out, boom, really stressful. I gotta rescue people. Like I said, rescue, that's you trying to rescue parts of yourself. See, everybody is the entire universe. So what happens is, you find yourself in a situation, in a reality. The reality is not that real, but what you feel in it is, what you do with it is. Love is what makes realities real. That's how realities become real, how worlds are created. So what it means for physical reality to not be the real is it means that it can change very easily. Unfortunately, with negative beliefs, it can change very quickly to horrible things, and that's where the cruelty comes in. People are doing cruel things to each other to try to escape their own fears and disempowerment. If they knew what they were doing, when people know what they're doing, as people learn, I can teach a lot. You just ease up. You're like, hey, life can work. Why would I want to do all the things that instantly make me suffer and disconnect me, and I can't think straight, and I'm so upset? All the kinds of competition and domination and all kinds of emotional suppressions and none of that's needed. None of that's needed. But yeah, when I was younger, it'd be like, the world doesn't work. It really, really hurts. But then you see there are people out there, they seem to have a lot of money, they seem to be having a good time. Maybe they'll take care of me. Then you find out they've got some real problems. They're mean. It's like, okay, let me rescue you. Let me help you become nicer so that you can help me with all your success. And then you start realizing their success is suffering and stolen and that. No, it's trust yourself. You have your own way to thrive. So the way that it works is that you are this greater being, and you have already planned to have a wonderful time on Earth learning lessons. You're not a masochist. You really hoped, and you keep hoping, and you keep planning that it's a challenging place, but you sidestep the real dangers and suffering, and you listen to your higher self, listen to spirit guidance. They have the solutions for you. They want to help you to dodge the bullets, to be able to have an increasingly healthy, happy life. Absolutely. And to be guided to help others too. I mean, there's no selfishness here, okay? Such simplistic, low-level consciousness a lot of people have. It's like, you know, like, oh, some of that spiritual prosperity stuff, you must be really greedy. You must be, I mean, I was guilty of this stuff. It took me years just to get past the judgments. Judgments, oh man, we got to bring in the word judgments here, right? So there are two kinds of judgments. One is the kind of judgment that hurts. That's the kind of stuff that has, burned people on different things, especially religion. A lot of people are burned on religion. But a lot of people are burned on a lot of things, different institutions, different people, different relationships. Like, no, that you hurt me, that you're bad, you're wrong, you shouldn't exist, that shouldn't have happened. Ouch, all of that, judgments. Those are absolute punishing judgments. It's a nice definition. Channeled entity Lazarus helped me a lot in my 20s after my spiritual awakening after college. And I'm in my early 60s, so let me date myself a bit here. So I've been working on this stuff for decades, and I've had real fruit of my labors. I mean, I remember other lifetimes. It's so amazing. I remember coming here as an ET, and that's called a starseed. When people most directly came here from another planet, versus you might call the natives, people who more fundamentally growing up here. There's strengths and weaknesses. We are friends. We work together. It's all part of one system. There's no better or worse than. Just different challenges. But a challenge of starseeds, you come here fresh from knowing another society that's really wonderful and amazing, and you're like, from the outside, you're like, I'm going to help those earthlings, and then you get in there and you're like, I'm one of them, holy shit. No wonder these people are acting like they're suffering. They are suffering. It's freaky stuff here. So what happens is belief systems. Without beliefs, you would not have experiences. You think it's experiences first, but that's only because the beliefs are kind of buried unconscious. You can bring them up, okay? Don't be afraid of your unconscious and subconscious. Unconscious is the greater world out there that you haven't even met. Your subconscious is all the things you've had some exposure to, but you're always focused. My photographic memory knows everything in the room, but I was focused on this. But your subconscious has everything. So your subconscious and your unconscious, they don't run your life. They are library systems. They will bring up associatively through your subconscious. Your subconscious connects things, makes consistent connections. And your unconscious stores all kinds of potentials, many of which you don't want, okay? The whole point of reality. There are a lot of people, they want to... This is a major reason for negativity. People are told by false negative beliefs. First, the negative beliefs, they freak you out, they traumatize you, they say you're on your own, there's no God, those people are going to kill you. It's and you're like, oh my God, really? What do I do about it? Then false beliefs jump in there, what you can do is you can fix the world, you can fight back, you can work hard, you can make sacrifices, and someday you'll be in charge, and someday you'll fix it all, and you can tell them what to do. False. Okay, fundamental thing you have to understand is that a pattern is a pattern is a pattern. Patterns grow, but they don't change. If you're in a belief, an experience of that belief, a reality, a society, people living on those beliefs, and you don't like it, you can't change it. You need to just get out of there. You change it in yourself, because for you to experience anything, a part of you has to buy into it. A part of you has to jump into it. So I think of it as it's a map. There's a whole roadway, pathway system of beliefs. And you follow belief systems, and you're like, oh, let me go down this path. And you're like, oh, I'm starting to get, part of you jumps in it, and it becomes real. And it's and then what really cinches the deal in both, good and bad ways is relationships. Well, relationships, based on positive beliefs, relationships. That's why you want positive beliefs. You don't want to get rid of all the bad guys like the negative beliefs say. Why would I, even if that were remotely, possibly, insanely true, that getting rid of bad guys would, make the world be a wonderful place. Just the trauma of getting rid of things. It's no, I need to know that the system is beautiful from the start. And it is. You say, so when you find you're in a bad place, you've put a part of your consciousness in it. It feels really real. And so is everyone else in that reality. Everyone there has a reason to be there. It could be really ugly. It's your survival personality. You could be buying into it. Think like, but it's going to pay off. If I work hard for 5 more years, if I make 2 more, crimes, if I yell at 2 more people, if I'll get a payoff. And then I'll be nice. I promise. Then I'll be nice. It's like, no, you won't be nice, because then if you think that you have to do something horrible to get success, but, I'll retire, I won't do it anymore. No, you won't. It's like, next time you need success, it's like, well, all I know how to do is something horrible to make it happen. And if you would just step back and feel your human emotions. The human being is built for heaven, okay? This being that you inhabit, you don't just jump into here to be an incarnated person on earth for the hardship of like, it's a tough school. No, you're here because your classmates, you're how much fun you can have, how beautiful the earth is. Just learn, don't believe the things that make you feel bad. If it makes you feel bad, something's wrong. Figure out what's wrong. Not the first answers, though, you often, because your false negative beliefs, they jump in. There's a few waves of them. And they'll tell you, like, you got to work hard, and then you're like, no, I don't want to work hard. I think life should be easy. There should be, like, innate gifts and talents that everyone has, and we just have a wonderful life doing those. It's like, then another wave of false negative beliefs jump in and say, like, oh no, you're going to lose all your friends. Like, people are going to hate you. You're going to become successful, and they tempt you, and with fantasies they build you up. So you're going to be so rich and successful. Oh, but then you're going to be attacked, and you'll be like, up and down, and like you get whiplash from the crazy shit that the false belief systems will tell you. Whereas true beliefs, they'll just say, yeah, here's how it works. It's wonderful. We're all having a wonderful life. Please join us anytime. False beliefs, they'll do anything to freak you out and keep you running in circles and keep you locked in there in their torture chambers. And true beliefs are like, yeah, it's beautiful here. Like, please come anytime. Can we send you like some guidance? Can we whisper in your ear? Can we let you know like some things to do to heal and get back on track to the way the universe really is? Because it's really great. The universe is really great. It is. It's, oh my God, such bliss, so much happiness I've had, especially times in nature, but also just times of contemplation. I mean, it's like the universe is really good. And some of those first times that you can really tap into how good the universe is, you're still buying into those time-space belief systems, the false stuff that says, like, you only get one chance. Oh, you blew it. You're not in that heaven. You're not in that bliss. What did you do wrong? Like, oh, my God, I did something wrong. Oh, it's like you get really urgent. You get really scared. If you can step back and get some perspective, say, like, that can't be. Like, I've had many recurring returns to some good place, and now if I'm in a bad place, let's get back to the good place. It's really geographic, okay? There are good places and bad places, and you don't change them, okay? Just move. And you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel guilty. It's all just belief systems. So it's more like Hollywood sets, okay? And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of Hollywood sets for battlefields, and people are acting out war movies, and the suffering is real, absolutely, but it also, it's staged in some way, because that's just not how the universe really works. See, the thing is, you can make nothing out of something, but you can't make something out of nothing. And people are always thinking in this time-forward direction of like, I got to make something out of it. I got to fix things. I got to learn how to do this, and then people will like me. And it's like, no, when you let people like you and help you, then you'll learn how to do it. It's like, but you see, so the point is, something already exists. Paradise already exists. The universe has already had eternity to make things work beautifully. It's whole systems, remember? It's like, all the little, like imagine a net, a net with you just drape it over something. Like, you don't calculate, you don't pre-calculate, how am I going to get this and this and this? Just drape it. It's like, it's a whole system. Life works that way. So you pour some of your consciousness into some beliefs, and you will start meeting the people who also believe that with you. And, they say how the world is like a mirror and the reflections of other people. It's true. But also those people, those are real living people. There's only consciousness to create anything out of. So your consciousness, there's just as much of a consciousness as you. They're running their universe differently. Everybody's running their own universe. You get to meet people. People cross your path to show you like, oh, here's a way to run the universe. Do Do you like the way that person is running their universe with, threats and lies and suffering and pain and pollution and wars? And like, no, I don't like that. Good, okay, that's all it takes, That's all it takes, the clarity, like beware of the choices. But no, like a major part of the false belief systems is materialism. Materialism that says the reality is more real than you. It came first. If you don't like something, you can't do anything about it, but you can fight it. You could try to change it, but you can't just up and leave that area. It's like, oh, I took a wrong turn on my map here. My inner guidance of I knew I was making a mistake. I kind of just wanted to see what was around the next corner here. Oh, this is really bad. Well, I'd like to help the people here. Yeah, you look around, you notice there could be other people just like you who want to get out. Make some friends, but don't try to save everybody. You don't need to save everybody. So there's the false paradigms. This is part of why people get so mean, so cruel. They feel fundamentally trapped in something. They're trapped in the false beliefs. And they feel trapped with other people who are in those false beliefs too. And they make more false belief assumptions that, oh, it's those people doing it to me. No, it's each of us doing it to ourselves. We follow belief systems. We pour a part of our human self into it. We experience it as like a 3D living, 4D, whatever, sense around experience, kind of like you're in a bubble, okay? Everybody's in their own energy bubble, floating in a sea of the multiverse, held in the love of your higher self, in a bubble. This is all a 3D sense around, bubble of reality, and people will show up in your bubble and you'll show up in their bubble, but you never directly impact somebody else. You can influence each other. But that what's happening is just that you think, oh, I guess I want to go a little more in this direction. And they go into a little more in this direction with you, and you keep showing up together. But if you disbelieve, if you conflict in belief systems, don't hold on to them. One of the false beliefs, it says you got to change people. There's only one reality. You're stuck with those people. You got to force them. You got to make them good. So even that's where victims come in. It's like, even if you have the ethics to not be a bully and to not hurt people, if you're still buying into false beliefs, fundamental ones like reality is more real than you, so you can't change beliefs, so you can only fight the system, and you try to kill beliefs, but you can't just pick up and leave. It's like, hey, everybody, anybody want to leave with me? There's a better party down the road, okay? It's like, come on. So like I said, you don't feel sorry for people. You don't have to stay and rescue people. You just realize oh, this really hurts. So what happens is, yes, you, a caring, empathic person who is following your human emotions because you want to get back to the heaven that your human body is built for, and that's why you feel those feelings. Good ones mean hey, something's working here. Bad, quote unquote, unpleasant feelings mean something isn't working here. But if you just figure out what's working or not working, then you're in charge of it. If you just remain a disempowered consumer of reality as a party goer, it's I don't know, I lucked into a good party. If you don't know why things work well or why things don't work well, you'll be scared either way. In fact, a lot of people are more scared of success than failure. Failure I can handle. Failure, I'm not too disappointed because I wasn't trying for too much anyway. I'm just trying to survive. And if something comes up, I don't have to feel too much. I don't have to open up and be vulnerable. I don't have to fall in love and wonder if they love me and what's going to happen and how can we build a good world around us. Would wonderful things be taken away from me? It's oh, there's so many fears that come up, but those are all openings for the false negative beliefs. See, the true beliefs are don't be afraid of your fears. Every time a fear comes up, it's just telling you something to think through a little more. Don't worry, there's a perfect way the universe works. Fears are very valuable. They're the opposite of love, functionally. When love is green light, go. Fear is stop, figure things out. But fear is not your enemy. Lies are your enemy. False negative beliefs are your enemy. And the negative ego, your survival personality on the false negative belief, that's your enemy. Yeah, but even then, you can dial them down. You don't try to kill them or control them or anything. Just dial it down. Don't feed them, okay? If you don't like your monster, don't feed it. It will shrink. The whole point is every possibility exists in the universe, and you are the universe, which means Doesn't mean you have to be everything and experience everything and you are everybody. No, you're you. But you have available to you every possible experience. So it's like you have a panel of settings. You can dial up things and dial down things. You have all your parameters, all your settings. What are your settings on life, on the universe? Your choices. You make choices. You choose things, you try things, and when you decide, you really decide. That's it. I live by this. It's not a forceful rule. I don't punish myself if I don't do it. I live this way because it was what works. It's wonderful. The universe is alive and it helps me and we work together. See, once you really tune into, from the human experience, tune into how good the universe is, it just keeps getting better and better. You don't turn back. You even if, it gets tougher before it gets harder, you rip the bandage off the wounds, you've got to clean the wounds. You find how bad things are. But that doesn't mean you're going to turn away. It's this is real healing. This is wonderful. I've got spiritual friends helping me. I've got little successes, little synchronicities. I'm feeling better in key ways. I'm doing things that I didn't used to be able to do. I have a flow at times. Look at me. I love doing this. I know how good the universe is. I know how good the future is. Got to find my audience. Okay. I need to figure out a thriving life. But again, it's like receiving it. The universe has wonderful plans for me. So I'm kind of like somebody who followed my belief systems, and I'm in this world with you. And if you want to get out, you're following your own way out, but we can encourage each other together. We'll see each other along the way. And when you see another person, they give you more depth of quality of understanding. It's love. It's a deep, deep love from one universe to another universe, through the multiverse, through the source. It's powerful. So relationships, you want relationships, you don't want the cruel relationships. So why are people cruel? Let me get down to some brass tacks here. Okay, we'll go through the concepts. Okay, unlike the old paradigm said it's one world, right? And you're stuck with mean people, and there's no options. You're going to die if you try something too wild. You can't make it on your own. You got to stay where you are and fight. And you're going to change people and all this stuff, and very stressful and never works. And you get either you fall more toward the victim side of things aren't working and I'm suffering, or you fall more toward the abuser side of I don't want to feel things that are bad, but I'll dump it on other people. And in that scenario, you suffer if there's anyone who's a problem. You want everybody to be nice, right? It's fine, that's a goal, but that's a symptom, that's not a cause. When your life is working, yes, everyone will be nice. You don't make your life work by telling everyone, be nice, do what I tell you to. No, that's domination. Guaranteed that's going to be destructive. So don't try, even a lot of nice people who want the world to be a peaceful, loving place, they become forceful but dominating. It's I just want everybody to love. So damn it, make them love. How are we going to make them love? Let's have a love bomb. Love bomb is not, that's what narcissists, that when they love bomb. So cults do that. They make you feel super loved, but it doesn't really sink in deep. Okay, the love of the universe is really deep. It is so powerful. It is so transformative. It's so personal. This is not an impersonal God. I know that all kinds of freaky religions that have issues of there are some people who are very spiritual, but it's an impersonal God. It's just obey the karmic rules. And no, the universe is incredibly personal. Oh my God, it's so intimate. I mean, it seduces you. It loves you. You love it. It's a kind of lover. And it's an appropriate lover. It's like you have actual lovers and you have other people who are your friends, and you have a relationship with every part of the universe. In total, oh my God, you're just hugged by love all the time. So you're highly incentivized to go to a great place, how the universe really works. Well, how do you get in this place? Well, like I said, you jumped in. A part of yourself had a plan. You at a higher level. It's you. Don't worry. You're going to find more and more of you, and you love yourself more and more. And the bigger, higher parts of you already love you so much because they know how good the universe is. It's only these lower parts that are holding on to what little survival you know. survival levels of love, like the Stockholm syndrome. There was a syndrome where people were held in a bank robbery, hostages, and some things happened where they ended up being sympathetic to their hostage keepers, the criminals. And afterward they had a fund to raise money for legal defense for the hostage takers and just all this stuff. People were shocked. It's like they were your enemy, yes, but we bonded, we trauma bonded, and they kept us alive. And it's really intimate. They really knew me. We got to know each other. They got to know like how far to push me and how far to not go to keep me alive. And it's like, yeah, intimate bonds of like trauma and survival and like, ugh. It's like, come on. Like, fine. I mean, if you go through a traumatic thing and you see the humanity come out, you see people coming out and help each other, yes, that's beautiful. So then go ahead to a next better place together. Like, right? Like, don't stay in a lot of people are staying in the suffering because they're like, well, that's what I know. That's familiar. There are relationships there. There's an intimacy there. I have things to try to do, like how to build my wealth and power and control the world and make it a better place in my way of thinking about it. It's like everybody's trying to make the world work for them. It's just some people are more caring than others, right? So all of this is the false theory. The real theory of how the universe works, because you do not want to try to get everybody to your side. What reality really is, it's a reflection, it's a mirror of what's going on inside of you, your beliefs. So if you got a bunch of cruddy beliefs, you'll have some cruddy people out there to illustrate, to give you clear examples. And the more you decide wonderful things and align yourself, connect with the real universe, the more you'll have wonderful people out there. So it accelerates very quickly in a positive way. It's just when you're initially jumped into a problematic, challenging earth, like a really difficult, a challenging, doesn't have to be difficult, but a challenging, many parts to it, many things to understand and consider, and have compassion and love and patience and attention to detail to figure out, what kind of negative beliefs did I get into here? But you jump into the earth, and you're going to find your way back from the earth position, connect to the original universe, and then it's like, oh, it's just golden. It's wonderful. It's miraculous from then on. Okay? So I know people are really addicted. I mean, on one hand, you look out and you're like, people are like, oh my God, how can they be so cruel? You hear about things that happen in the, dictatorships in horrible parts of the world, and then something happens in your backyard, and you're like, oh my God, how can people be so cruel? Well, they have childhood trauma. Usually goes back to childhood trauma, almost certainly. Why? Because let's talk about how the real universe is. So the real universe, like I said, reality is a kind of mirror. It's reflecting the things you're working on. So all the more reason to change yourself, to fix things. So the real way the universe works, you have total power of authority. You can make anything happen with your authority of working with the universe. However, you change yourself, you don't change others. So there's no military applications. Okay, anybody who's interested in conquesting the world and such, they're not interested in the spiritual path because, wow, you want me to change myself, heal myself, become more sensitive, bring my wounds out, look more weak. It's like take a few months off of being a dictator to heal and become a kind person and become vulnerable and hope that people don't backstab me. And no, a lot of people don't want to do the healing. Fine, let them. Okay, remember, it's actually a multiverse. Each one of us is our entire own universe. You are only temporarily crossing paths with people. There's no solid world out there. It's a shifting, ever-shifting, floating sea of bubbles. You're in your own bubble. You're seeing the people who you have some commonality of beliefs with, but you got to meeting with them not because they came in and started doing stuff to you, but because you were following a path of thinking, a path of beliefs that led you into a space where those people were too. And so the way to get out is to see, resonate, see with oh my God, this person really upsets me. How can they do that? Where do I do something like that? What's my relationship to that kind of behavior? What are my memories? What does it bring up for me? And what kind of beliefs do I have? Did I think that life was a competitive, horrible place? Was that what they're showing me? change that stuff. Change it. And you're not just like, willy-nilly making up fantasy stuff. No, this is real, okay? When you tap into a real belief, you get it's very intense, very emotional. And the negative beliefs, they will make you paranoid as hell. They will make you scared. But you ask for more love. The love will come in, and you get the help, and you get the education from me and other people like me. Like, oh, maybe I could figure this out. Yes, you can figure it out. Like I said, the real way the universe works, it's not that hard. It's not meant to be that hard. Just have infinite variety in how it's applied to your life. So yeah, you need to learn the theory and apply it to your life. It's not enough to learn the theory. I try that, okay? I tried to be sort of an ivory tower type. I have lifetimes of telling other people what to do, and increasingly the world became a scary, dangerous place until I went through phases of trying to save the world. I have a philosopher, Vladimir Solovyev. He tried to unite all Christian churches, and he just went mad, like tormented from the inside out. Don't try to unite people. Don't try to hold people together who don't want to be together. Like I said, you get into a place with your belief systems, you feel your human feelings, and that gives you a motivation to love yourself. It gives you perspective. You step back in your spiritual self. You're human and spirit. Human part of you is more in the game, in the beliefs, and a spirit part of you can step back and make decisions. Don't abdicate your responsibility. I know in the Bible, isn't there some phrase about like the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak? Well, I find more often the flesh is willing, the spirit is weak. The flesh is willing because a part of you is in there. That the flesh that's willing, that's the part of it. If you abandon yourself, if you decide like, I'm powerless, I can't imagine the universe is a good place, I just have to react to all the horrible things I'm told to do. Like your human feels totally abandoned. It becomes totally survivalist, and you have a nasty side to your personality, and everybody else does too, and they all fit together. But that's not the real world, okay? That's just the scary world that people invented. And it falls apart very quickly as soon as you don't be a part of it. When you get into a place, you have a buy-in, you have an adapted personality. Your human being automatically has an adaptation to that place that you've come into on your belief paths, your beliefs roads. And your job is to stay in your heart, care, feel. So if you have impulses like I want to kill somebody or I think somebody's going to kill me, like, no, universe, help me. That's terrible. That's traumatizing to me, and I don't want to hurt anyone. And the universe will help you. And you get more help but feel your feelings honestly in a safe way. That's why I talk about emotion meditations very briefly. Step one, notice that something's coming up. Feelings, thoughts, an energetic state. 2, set aside some time, some safe space to feel it. 20 minutes is an ideal amount of time. Safe space, you could do it with a therapist or a friend, but ideally really with yourself, because you need to be ready to be totally vulnerable with yourself. Love yourself 100%, love other people adequately, and likewise let them love themselves 100%. They're just going to try to love you adequately. They're going to try to do nice things for you, but you're the one who has total authority of the universe to totally take care of yourself. So never never stay with the victim stuff. You can feel victim stuff. You can say like, oh my God, this is scary. And you step back and you love your human being. And it's like, oh my God, I want to be the spirit who runs this place more, who can discern, can tease out the belief systems and make some choice changes. That's why a world that's on the brink, like it is now in my time, 2025, the ascension, environmental systems, ecosystems are collapsing, and damn it, people are so concerned with they're denying and they're buying into false negative belief systems, and they're giving power to dictators. Whether you're for a dictator or against and fighting a dictator, you're in those negative beliefs. Because the person who really is powerful is the one who can say, look, oh, I feel all this, I step back, I care about everyone, but everyone can care about themselves too. Like, hey, everybody, the best thing I can do for you is model to you how each one of us is the universe. You are empowered, I'm empowered. Let me empower myself, and I will share. Anybody shows up curious what I'm doing, I'll be happy to share. Okay? So I have figured out so much. I've been what I call a creator in the closet. You can become a hermit. You can become kind of trapped in your own limitations as you study, like how does life work? Slowly you realize, hey, I'm connecting with so much more good energy than a few, bad things out there. I mean, yeah, they're reflected all around and there's a lot of people suffering, but I'm telling you, the problems in the world today are actually easy to solve. Not because you have to have all the answers, but your job is just to solve the negativity. Deactivate, diffuse, defund, divest from your negative ego by witnessing, finding out exactly those false beliefs. And the false beliefs are very inconsistent. They'll tell you crap like work hard and someday you'll be happy because you'll retire with lots of money. Like, no, if I work hard and obsessive all my life and sacrificing, I'll be guilty at best when I finally come home to my family and say, hey, everybody, Daddy no longer works 80 hours a week. I'm actually going to spend some time with you. And where's everybody? Oh, you all grew up without me. When I was a kid, Cats in the Cradle, sung by Harry Chapin. Saint Harry Chapin, I call him. I grew up. He helped me with so many, his compassionate ballads, like really deep character studies. I mean, some people faulted as being kind of extreme and maudlin, but not really. Like, it's deep stuff. So find the things that open your heart, okay? And also find the things that open your mind. So because if your heart alone is open, you're going to be a victim. You also got to open your mind so you realize, like, wow, I'm the spiritual self who can move up from my heart closer to my higher self coming down. There's a whole chakra system energy line from the heavens above to the earth, center of the earth, where you're incarnated, your home. And I can move into the spirit and make some changes. Starting with understanding, getting the education like we're talking now, how these things really work. How do people come about to be so cruel? Well, so the way things really work, you pour your consciousness into some beliefs, and if those beliefs hurt, you need to divest yourself again. So make use of whatever in your reality experience will help you understand what kind of beliefs to have. It brings it out. You need to have full physical experience in your human self to fully figure it out. You want it to be human. So when you see other people, they're having the parallel problem. Now, there are people who want to tell you, oh, what they're doing and going through is what they're doing to you. No, you're each doing it to yourselves. This is not blame the victim. This is empower the victim. Everybody's doing it to themselves. They don't realize it, so they are an honest victim in suffering, but get to the bottom of it. Keep digging. It's very complex, a lot of layers of beliefs. You can easily meet people who are cruel and you're like, I don't believe what they believe. I wouldn't do what they do. Exactly, you wouldn't. But you have some beliefs that are keeping you in the reality with them. And if you believe that your job is to rescue them, or your job is to fight and get rid of them, or just whatever, what's going to happen is the only way you can have more interaction and try to wrestle with somebody is you have to follow your own path of beliefs deeper. And then a part of them will follow their path of beliefs deeper so that those people who want to have a fight get closer. You're getting more involved, more invested. That's the trapped feeling. God, I've struggled with this for so many years. I'd get into arguments with people. One of the blessings of social media is you get into a lot of arguments. Okay, it's learn to have civil ones, but yeah, you will meet people in a safe way just over the internet, but you will meet people who have shockingly different, upsetting beliefs. And you need to learn how to respect them and to let them believe what they want to believe, because they're really giving you an opportunity, a sacred space that you give to yourself to figure out what are my beliefs in contrast to their beliefs. Because I don't like what they're doing. I don't want to believe what they're believing. A part of me started to believe that. I got to change that. I want to get to what I really believe. You have value separation. There's a whole exercise I talk about. I want to try to keep this a little focused. I want to get to the childhood issues, childhood healing issues. But yeah, so the way the universe really works is, what's really cool is a reality that's very chaotic with a lot of dangers and struggles and scary things going on. That's also very empowering. It's not disempowering. It's very empowering. If you think that it's only one reality and everybody's impacting each other and you got to use force to convince or conquer each other, then it's very discouraging, very disempowering. The more bad people, the less powerful you are. But no, if it's a consciousness reality where it's you making choices such that you end up in the same room of beliefs with other people, then when you see, I want dramatic, clear examples of what the hell is wrong with this place. Oh, look at those people. They believe this. They say this. That's what's going on here. And if I don't believe that, if I don't buy that, well, something got me here. Maybe, it's materialism. I really did. I know I've heard I create my own reality, but I thought that was just sort of like personal attitude. Like, no, that's the human potential movement. When you try to maximize your gains in life by dressing for success, looking the sharpest. Like, no, that's just trying to be positive enough to manipulate people. There's no manipulation. You don't have to try to manipulate. You can't manipulate. Everybody's doing it to themselves by following belief paths. Get with this program, understand, look down, follow, see what roads you're following. That's why you're getting into places, not because of those people who are playing various roles, various games. There are a lot of bullies. There are a lot of people who want to go further than you do with the cruel domination belief. So they want to believe that they don't feel the things you feel, that humanity is fractured, that victims, they can just get rid of the bad people. It doesn't matter what they feel. I don't feel what they feel. Those people are wrong. It's still one system. Why is it one system? You can see it's because your consciousness, you're pouring yourself into, going down a belief path, pouring yourself into a situation, creating your side of every experience. It's you, it's your energy. So if you treat it as separate things that you can kill off and attack and be attacked by in battle, you're going to collect all that energy in the afterlife. That's when people die. You don't have to die to go to heaven. You don't have to die to connect with the afterlife. The afterlife is the spiritual side of life, the energetic side of life, the emotional energy, that what really makes things work. Why is it one moment you're all passionate and clear-headed and creative, and the next minute you're depressed and you're scared, and it's the energy. Master the energy flows. These empty containers, as I like to call them, these forms. They're wonderful, they're beautiful, but it's your energy you bring into the forms. So that's why in the true system of creatorship of every consciousness is its own reality, more bad examples are really, really helpful to you for you to figure out the beliefs you need to change. You need fundamental belief. You need to believe that your beliefs run reality, that you are running your beliefs, that you need to try these incrementally, baby steps. I'll believe this a little bit, a little bite size, like, ooh, I felt some changes, ooh, some synchronicities, ooh, things are shifting, like maybe I'll try a little more. And like I said, when you get down the spiritual path enough, you realize, this is it, this is the way, as long as it takes to, get this right. It's like, this is the way I have to go, this is it. There's only one game in town, spirituality, it works. There's no big, battle of good versus evil. It's like more like, the battle of, happy people and the people who wish they were happy. It's like, what kind of battle is that? It's just like people who wish they were happy. You can be happy. Learn how to be happy. And the people who are happy, share when opportunities arise, which they want to. The more you learn about how great life is, the more you want to share it. You do have to learn how to share appropriately, because when you come into a place, like I said, there will be people who want to do really cruel things, and they want to look like, they want to convince themselves they can offload, they can vent, they can dump all their bad feelings on other people, so they can be a really mean son of a bitch. And they don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad. I'm making more money. I'm getting more power here. It's like, no, you're a jerk. And in the afterlife, when you collect all your energy, you're going to hell. Hell isn't a judgment. It's not like God wants you to go to hell. Hell is just all the bad feelings that people didn't take responsibility for and try to be a decent person during their life. Most people get into the afterlife. It's very uncomfortable. It's it can be surprising. Like, oh my God, is this how it really works? Oh, those feelings I was hoping I would get away from. Oh, they're still around. Yeah, but we'll help you work on them. But there are people who just go into torment in the afterlife, and the problem is, without more spiritual education, the spirit and the human remains separate, and you get these people who just bounce back and forth. In spirit, they're like, oh my God, I was a horrible person. I really, give me another chance. It's like, and then jump in, it's like, then they're right in the game again. It's like they're addicted. It's like they get that, hit again. And then they just, so a lot of people who are recurring offenders, but they're also offended. They're wounded in childhood. Let's get to the childhood wounding. So you know that negativity isn't just meanness. It's about being a victim. It's about being disempowered. And that bullies are people who are dumping their own inner wounds onto other people. And then if you synchronize with them, you can play the victim with them. But everybody's in their own bubble, maybe bouncing up, rubbing against other bubbles, but it's your bubble. And anytime you want, you can, like, I'm out of here. So disbelieve it. Like, the real universe is helping me, doesn't want me to stay here. But the way to leave, by the way, you have to figure out, like, how did I think these false beliefs were going to work for me? What were the false promises I bought that I would, it's a horrible world, but I could fix it someday. A lot of people burn out trying to make the world a better place in some way. And then not just that it's a mistake, like, oh, bad me, no, good you find your goodness all the way through. Remember, one energy can only grow. Each energy can only grow. Like, things don't fundamentally change their state of being. So there's a good you, there's a core you that's through all situations. So you get in touch with that. Even though I believed that it was one world and we had to fight each other, and I tried to be a good warrior and I tried to, like, fight for peace, but then I found out you can't fight for peace, and I should have just let go the people who were, crossing my path, but then we held on to each other. It's like, let him go. Like, even though I was in all those delusions and, I struggled, I tried to do a lot of things good, and I did do a lot of good. The good you do, you realize, like, how much you grew as a person, how much you, despite all the confusions and delusions and depressions and suffering, so there's a little rhyming in my mind, depression sessions, but listen, despite all of what you went through, find the part of you, the best times when you were flowing, when you knew that you were doing something good. When you, out of your pure goodness, your pure good intention, you just wanted to make things better. So yeah, you bought into the systems, but you wanted to make things better. So you find the good you did, and then you realize, like, okay, I love myself. I'm really proud of the good I did. I see the false beliefs very clearly. I see all the people buying into them. Some of them wanting to leave with me. So, like, yeah, let's form a little club. Let's get out of here. Let's encourage each other, find the way back, backtrack each of us on our own path. But yeah, find your companions, find your helpers, tap into the love of the real universe, and take your best self with you. You won't see, there'll be a lot of fears that gang up on you when you try to leave the hells. The people who are playing devil, there are no devils, okay? It's just people playing devils. There is no inherent evil in the universe. There are angels, there are no devils. Oh yeah, that's my angel. Thayer, isn't it William Thayer? That's his angel painting. Might be a little faded. My parents bought that for me at an antique shop in my 20s. It meant a lot to me. And I think it's a little it's a little faded. It's maybe almost a bluish tint. It's like it's underwater or something, which is good. Water is associated with emotion, the astral plane, the next energy level above us, where the afterlife is, where dreams are. So what happens is, with people who are going to play out more destruction, they're following belief systems you don't want to follow, let them go. There's a law of attraction of the people that you would like to be more with. And when you move to be more of who you want to be and who you want to be with, you will get afraid. The false negative beliefs, they'll gang up on you fast. They'll say, oh no, you're not ready. They're not going to like you. You only get one chance. You're not good enough. They don't want you. It's like false. Okay. You're totally good enough. And there's a place where you belong, where they want you. You are built to thrive in a certain place, and you'll feel it and know it when you get there. And if you go in and out of good places, just get excited for what that means, that you're dredging up things to fix. remember, you're not fixing the reality, you're fixing your own beliefs. You're fixing your understanding, which enables you to receive more of how the universe really works. So a lot of the problems go back to childhood. That's where people get locked into survival personalities with the false negative beliefs. So it's disempowerment. It starts with the disempowerment of false negative beliefs. They traumatize you, they scare you. And it's pre-verbal. You come into this world and you start feeling it. You may have neglectful, abusive parents right from the beginning. That's horrible. And even if you don't, there's stuff you're going to feel. And then as you grow up, you're going to have this confusing mix of like some really good times, your best moments. They're portals. They're eternity, okay? Don't think of like, oh, in time and space I did something wrong and I lost the good times. I must be bad. Like, those are all false beliefs. Any good times are forever. Experience more of it. Find more ways to get back there when things connect naturally. Let there be a flow. Let there be higher levels of you in the universe that loves you, that is guiding you. Remember, the whole point is to have a tour, a guided tour of the most wonderful life for eternity, and you're just taking notes and learning to participate as you go. Because, the universe wants you. You have gifts to give. You have a unique vibration, a unique energy, a unique service to give. So you're being supplied. And you figure out your false beliefs, and then you start seeing paradise. I see and feel paradise. I know how bad the world is at times and how much people are suffering, and other people suffering to see people suffering, and suffering to see the cruel people who want people to suffer. Okay, remember here's what I want to say, the negative beliefs. They're predicated on the idea of like, don't focus on good stuff, focus on getting rid of the bad stuff. Well, you'll never be done. That's a whole direction. You'll always. So it's kind of like a metaphor I had. Was a really good one. Was putting together the puzzle. So you got a nice puzzle box. That's the source. The universe already exists. Paradise already exists. The puzzle box. That's your goal. You got pieces, and you're putting them together. The positive person says, "Ooh, here's a pretty piece. Let me see. Oh, this one doesn't fit. Okay, we'll save that for later. This one fits. All right, putting it together. You're like, oh, this is really fun." Negativity says, like, pick a piece. Okay, whatever you got, you're stuck with it. You can't pick your favorite piece. You're stuck with it. Now, try another piece. That doesn't fit. Kill it. It's your enemy. I mean, it's absurd. If you destroyed your puzzle pieces, you wouldn't have a puzzle put together. That's why people die. That's why people, they're unfinished business. Like, because they destroyed their puzzle pieces, they can't put it back. It's never too late, though. There's always healing. People who want to heal will heal. Let the people, remember, reality is meant to give you a variety of options, all the parameters, all the possibilities. Dial some up, turn some down. Never try to make reality all what you want it to be. Let it be an instructive surprise of what's there. And if there's some really ugly, scary things, well, have the courage to realize, like, this is really going to change my life when I get this. Obviously I don't want to do that. That's such a clearly bad example. Boy, my life is really going to, if I followed a road of negative beliefs to get to this point and see those people, well, I must have something that when I change it, boy, I'm going to really be in a good place. So you get excited. Get to a positive outcome no matter what happens, no matter where you are. So, negative beliefs, they actually make people distrust love. Love is the kindness and the caring. You want to have fun. You want to care. You want to help people. You want to help the system. You want to help life work and thrive. If somebody doesn't belong with you, bless them. Let them go. Everybody find where you belong. It's a beautiful universe. And the negative says get rid of stuff. So love makes you vulnerable. Love is when you open up and you're seeing and feeling more of like my tenderness. Like, I have beautiful dreams and I don't have exactly where I belong to thrive yet, so that I can get scared and false negative beliefs really pick on me. I got to build up my strength of believing in myself, taking care of myself. That's the self-love, believing in yourself and taking care of yourself. That's a major path to get out of the false beliefs. But there are people who look, I don't want to do love. I'm going to get picked on. Being kind, wishing for good things, asking for help. I'm going to get used. I'm going to get abused. No, we got to be mean. We got to be tough. And besides, my negative beliefs, they told me They said, when I get rid of all the bad guys, then it'll be great. False. And they never get rid of the bad guys. You notice how people who follow, abuse and dictators, it just gets worse and worse. And in fact, that's what's happening. That's where I want to get into the childhood stuff. People who support dictators, there's childhood wounds. Childhood wounds. Now, maybe it could be too simple to say, well, they all had an abusive parent, but many of them do. Somebody in their life was abusive, and they build up a whole mythology, all the false beliefs around why it's good to have an abusive parent. See, when you're a little kid, when you're a little person, you're on that side of the human being. I just need to experience. In fact, there's a fundamental polarity here. There's the duality of yourself. You're growing up, you are more of that vulnerable human being just feeling and absorbing. And you need to then shift to, from adolescence onward, you can run your own life and you pay attention to what happens to you. So the first half of life, you're fundamentally a little person who depends on the universe, and angels are real, and guardian angel, everyone has your own angel. Your guardian angel is basically like keeping your path back to the divine. And there are angels of every path, of every skill, of every value, everything you need to learn. There's an angel for you. There are big angels, like Archangel Michael is like the highway to God, the highway to heaven. Works a lot for clearing blockages and helping you feel safe and getting you all kinds of angels, okay? Angels you can trust. You know why? Because they never incarnated. They don't work through the belief systems. They stay close to God. It's the first step down, the first from God, Goddess, Creator, Great Spirit, all that is. I mean, I'm talking a huge energy that goes way beyond any limited patriarchal kind of, or even matriarchal kind of image from a religion. No, we're talking like the source, the energy of life, the love of life, the life of love. So angels you can trust because they are always like directly connected to God. They never had, they don't make mistakes. They're beautiful. They're trustworthy. Children, when in the first half of your life, in the beginning process of any activity, when you're vulnerable, call in angels, absolutely. Specialists for the divine way, from the source, the divine way to do things. And one of the first things they'll do is help you connect more with your higher self. Your soul is your way of doing everything, your universe, your flavor of the universe, your way of loving, your essential service. And your soul family, I call it, my soul family is all the forms of my soul. And big, huge one is my higher self, who's like holding me in all of my lifetimes and many lifetimes. And my future self is the me who's like at the end of, the end of the tunnel, the end of the rainbow, the end, help me, ready to get me through your future self is the you, like an older sibling. They will guide you through the process of reaching the really happy, celebrating, coming home again, uniting of more heaven and earth, spirit and matter, spirit and human, more of the parent and child, the perfect arrangement of everything within you. That's your future self is going to help you do that. So, I mean, it's an eternity. All these selves are always existing. So, yeah, we make timelines in our mind, right? Past and future. But what we're really saying is the past is like the old way of doing things. And the future is a better way of doing things. And the more I do the better way of doing things, the more I'm aware of, like, everybody's around, including my inner child. So people who had a lot of childhood abuse, you're not stuck. You do have to reparent yourself. You are now on the side of adolescent onward. You can run your own life. You can be there for yourself. You can figure out some of these beliefs and get help, get the help you need. I'm not saying do it all alone, but you can be in charge. You have that authority of the entire universe. So you can get the healing you need. So parent and child is a very archetypal relationship. You got the best you could, right? A mother and father. Not everybody has a mother and father. Not everybody, whatever your situation is. But archetypally, energetically, you have a mother and father. That means your father is kind of like your future self or your higher self. It's the part of you that's guiding you to be successful in life, learning what you need to learn. So indeed, father figures you learn from and you're very sensitive to their approval or disapproval. Fathers can really mess up their kids if they say, like, you should have done this and you were going to make me proud and do that. It's like any decent parent lives from a place of taking care of themselves and just wanting to, like, teach the kid how to love them and take care of themselves too. So, and the mother figure is the parent side of you that's very nurturing. Like, I just want to help you to thrive. Well, just unconditional love. Tell me you're safe. Like, let's embrace this. And the father figure, the masculine you're safe with too. It's just your masculine is like, get yourself healed, and then we're ready to work on something. Okay. And they're, the doing and the being, they go back and forth, the yin yang fish, whatever. Like, but they're in a continual dynamic balance. But anyway, so these are energy secrets. I mean, they're supposed to be esoteric, and no, this is basic life stuff. Everybody can know it. Everybody relates to it. You can start applying it right away, balancing your masculine and feminine energies, your inner parent, your inner child, how you treat yourself, the second, the later part of your life, adolescent onward, where you act upon your dreams, and the earlier part of your life where you're purely imagination, purely like wishing and hoping for things, and you see what kind of beliefs you're saddled with depending on how you're raised. Don't blame your parents. It's just you followed your belief road, they followed their belief road, and yes, agreements are made at higher levels. Like we'll intersect at this time. You have soulmates in life. Soulmate doesn't mean somebody's going to make you so happy. Soulmate is somebody you're going to have a significant interaction with in learning about yourself. If you've got a lot of negativity going on with false negative beliefs, you're going to have some negative, distressing relationships to work through. But everybody's working through stuff, and nobody's trying to hurt anybody else. Some people are, but they're really, everybody's just trying to heal, and they're following the false beliefs that say, be tough, do this to that person, whatever. So it's when you're a little person that you just absorb, you just take it. And when you're little, infancy is actually more than 9 months. When you're born, you actually need another 9 months, approximately double the amount of womb time. You need external womb time. Just your mother couldn't hold you to be that big. So yeah, infancy, totally helpless. You totally need quiet extended womb time. Parents who might even be well-intentioned could be abusive to an infant who really needed more gentle, quiet, extended womb time. But anyway, you're just, in toddler years and then into child, when you develop your theory of mind, age 4 to 5, and you develop more your sense of your own identity, and you shift from the being so mother-associated, dependent, to your more sensitive to your father figures. Anyway, all of this stuff. As a child, what can you do? You're just like, I need you to do things for me. I need to survive. You need to worship your parents. And the false belief system will say, like, this is reality. This is the source. This is all there is. So it's just very quickly, your natural dependency on parents can lead right into false negative beliefs that they're living from, and they don't want to admit, like, yeah, we don't know how to love ourselves, so we don't know how to love you. They're going to be like, hey, kid, do this and that, and then you'll be a good kid and we'll treat you right. And so you're like, yeah, kids just naturally take the blame. It's like, I've got a really mean parent, but they're tough. They protect me. They get rid of the bad guys for me, and I just have to be a good kid. And if they do anything bad, it's because I was bad, and they're teaching me how to be a good kid. And people grow up, and it's just how they become bullies, and they act out at a deep level their wounds, but then they don't really know how to change, how to not be that, and they're not incentivized. They actually lose sight of love. Like I said, they think being tough, being cruel is the way to go. There are people who actually revel in being cruel, hurting people. And it's funny, just as an example, as a way to see, because the whole false paradigm, false belief system, you can think it's so real, but it's got lots of holes. It's got lots of inconsistencies. That's how you get off it. You think it through. More consciousness, more awareness. Like, well, and when I thought it through, it's like, that's dumb, that's mean, that's stupid, that's not the real universe, that doesn't work. But anyway, like, one thing is like, I mean, if domination, if force, if physical violence really were so powerful, you're so powerful, why wouldn't like more people use it to go right after the things that they really want, instead of like, why, in other words, why do so many bullies? They just go pick on victims. They pick easy victims. If they were really so powerful, they should go after the big things that would make a difference, right? They should like face their real challenges and do really amazing things. And like, no, so many people, they just pick on cruel, they're cruel. They're like, just racism and prejudice and bigotries and child abuse. Absolutely. Like, if this doesn't motivate you, I mean, people need to realize that all of their cruelty, their buy-in to false negative beliefs, time is all simultaneous. It's actually going to their inner child. Your child is still alive and well. You remember being your child, but you tap into the child consciousness, and the child consciousness of bullies is like terrorized, because that energy, it's like, there's a part of you that's like a little kid, like, are you going to do that to me? Like, what's happening here? Like, the craziness. That's why you see so many, like, why are people obsessed with like stupid, action movies, Hollywood movies, these horror plots, these like murder mysteries, these thrillers. It's like, isn't it obvious that that's not the way the world works? But they're addicted to it. That's one of the big holes where you see, like, people are so dysfunctional that they pick on victims, they blame the victim, they're cruel. Like, if they were really powerful, they wouldn't be so like petty, cruel. No, like, they kick people when they're down. Like, this is part of the reason why, to understand why are people so cruel. Because the false negative beliefs don't work. They are fundamentally disempowered, and they have bought into false negative beliefs from childhood abuses, thinking like, okay, cruel people, like, they have the answer. They're running their life. Like I need to depend on them. So children will worship, good guys and bad guys and violence and everything, and they will grow up desensitized, broken inside, fundamentally continuing to value and to look for the strong men, the dictators. Like, you get some sociopath with like no conscience, no feelings, just want to maximize their money or power or whatever, and they come along and people are like, oh, they're so charismatic. No, they're not. They're like inhuman, like just walking like negative belief systems. They're robots. But then there are people who are still like wounded little kids. They're like, oh, my idol, you're so strong, you'll protect me. And they say, yeah, I'm going to get rid of the bad guys. Just vote for me, or, fight for me, go to war for me. And then it's like, next thing you know, these people, they end up on the receiving side of the abuse. It's like, oh, excuse me, you made a mistake. I'm suffering. I'm not a bad guy. It's like, too late now. You let the monsters run your life. Now you gotta get back to the love. You gotta open up to your childhood wounds. Let the angels take care of you. Go in meditations. Every time you have a flashback, every time you feel your child consciousness, you feel that kind of helplessness of like, oh my God, the world is so scary. I'm so traumatized. Yeah, don't let it keep traumatizing you. Get some perspective on it. Like, oh, I'm in that state of mind again. Like, oh, my inner child, like, I feel you there. Like, talk to your child. Be the parent, be the loving, caring parent who's wiser and can talk to your child and help them. And when you're not with them, call in angels to protect them. You can have an alternate past. The past and future are totally flexible. You're moving through a multiverse. You remember, places and people are shifting around you all the time. Make up stories that work. Make up stories that work. You're not in fantasies. You're finding what really works, what brings through the real universe's energy. So you're not in fantasies. It really works. So there's an art to recovering your inner child, your inner selves, and you need to protect yourself. So when you see that kind of cruelty that puts you back in a state of like, I mean, I feel it like sometimes, just at the right time, in the right mood, and you come across, it's like, oh my God, like, how can they do that? Just remember, like, okay, I wanted to have an intense reaction. That's good. It's good I have intense feelings. It's good to know I care. I care about people. I don't want that to happen to anyone. And now let's get some perspective. What kind of beliefs, what kind of situation am I in? Because you need to extract your consciousness from that situation. As long as those people want you to think that you're helpless, you're their victim. And you're going to stay there and you're going to keep acting out all the hurts that they feel inside, but they don't want to see and look at. They want to put it on you. So it's a whole game. It's a whole play. It's a whole drama of you being a sponge for abuse. Don't take it anymore. Say no. Like, don't get mad, but get mad to set boundaries. Like, no, you don't do that to me anymore. Maybe at a higher level, we decided we would incarnate again, and because we would have a chance to get it right. Well, you had your chance. You had a chance to love me. You were cruel. You're out of here. And the way you get them out of your life is you clarify your values, your energy. Make different belief choices. Back up, or get out of those belief systems. Believe it less. Feel it less. Do it less. Live different. Set very clear positive values and live from your values. Now, living from your positive values, you still may end up doing the things you did before when you thought you were fighting to save the world, but you'll do it in a very calm, effective way. Yeah, I went to the protest, and I helped people around me, and I held the energy, and I saw the future and people healing, and instead of like, I used to go when I went to the protest, I'd be freaked out and we whip up a frenzy of paranoia and hate and of hating the haters and like, but I'm not a hater. It's like, yeah, you're not the same kind, but you're still in the negativity. So you need to own it. So, I think this is about what I wanted to say. Another concept is, I really see and respect a lot of people who are working on healing the wounds from the false paradigm system. So a lot of them are more on the psychology side. I have friends who are very concerned about child abuse psychology, and one was telling me about, so there's a lot of evidence, or a lot of books about it. It seems that in earlier societies, so-called primitive, but really we're talking cultures that are closer to nature and more in a sustainable balance, generation after generation. They're doing something right? These so-called primitive societies, no, they're earth-oriented, like, what are good words for it? More natural societies. They don't use punishment on children. They don't try to motivate, control kids by any kind of punishment. They indulge a kid, and the kid doesn't turn spoiled because the kid isn't under stress. Kids, they trust. It's about nurturing. You trust, children have a natural curiosity. They have a natural desire to contribute to society. They have a natural desire to develop their skills and interests. They have a natural desire to fit in. They want to belong. They want to love. They want to cooperate. Hunter-gatherer, natural societies, they let it happen. So why is modern human so ugly, so cruel? Well, because we're so stressed out from the false negative beliefs. Remember, the false negative beliefs, this is the gateway to power. Remember, in the beginning I was saying that there are planets, there are other places where they're so totally positive, but also people aren't really clear on who's doing what. Everything's just flowing. It's like, I wouldn't want to think of like me being, on a place like Earth. That would be horrible. When you want to learn more about making your own creative decisions, you have to have a courage to know that if I make a mistake, if I have a good intention, but I choose an implementation of a belief that doesn't quite work for me, it's okay. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to fall down in a pit of hell, whatever. I'm going to, I can have limiting beliefs, and when it starts to become painful, then I back off. It's like you find your sweet spot of growth, the right pace of growth, so that you can use fundamental forces of splitting and joining. See, negativity is just splitting. But when you balance splitting and joining, when you balance basically your identity with everyone else's identity, and it's not good and evil, it's good and better. It's like, there's my way is best for me, there's your way is good for you. Everything is good, and I'm finding what's best for me. You're hot on the path of your passion, your love, just what's more joyful for you every day. That's your vision for the future. But yeah, you got to admit, and you'll feel it. It'll come up. Things come up for review. Don't get scared of it. Just let it be. Like, it's part of my growth, part of my learning to be joyful and happy forever, that stuff comes up from healing. So get excited. Like, there are answers here. I don't have to buy into the old disempowerment systems where, God, I remember being so tortured, thinking like, oh my God, these people are ruining the world. And it's like, oh, can I save them? What would I say to them? And like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like all these mental models of resisting and just getting me deeper into those belief paths, those belief directions I didn't want to go. Now I understand it so much better. It's like everybody's their own universe. I wish everyone well. I'm sorry people who are suffering, but if we're really on different timelines and belief systems, we may see each other at a distance for some ideas and some feedback, but, they're living reflections. I mean, it's not just a mirror, like, let people do things for you, no, they're going to change. The people will come in and out of your life, and you'll have a reaction, and your reaction is what you want to learn from them. If you're sensitive to something, if you're reacting to something, well, that's your trigger. That's why you're here. That's what's keeping you here. Work on that. And you'll get to a place of, I'm not triggered the way I used to be. I was looking at something the other day, not news. Okay, news, when it's actual people, it's terrible. That's why I wanted to make this video this week and talk to some other people who are suffering too. And like, Carl, go ahead and make that video. It'll help all of us. Yes. But I was watching, I came across some staged kind of horror movie excerpts online. And horror movies can be interesting because, they're very religious. They're very like archetypal stuff. Of course, it's also horror. So it's like, what's going on with this person? It's Clive Barker. This is an interesting story I wanted to say. And let me wrap up the hunter-gatherer point. The point is that modern people, we're learning to be creators. We're learning to work through these false belief systems. It's very stressful. People are confused. That's why there is violence at every level, especially the weakest, easiest targets down to the children are being abused, and it's horrible, and you're meant to care. So violence is a system of creators under stress haven't worked out how to create. When you learn how to create and you meet other creators, it's going to be a wonderful fixer-upper planet. Doesn't mean the world becomes perfect overnight, but it becomes a perfect activity, a perfect, you want opportunities to love. You want to learn how your skills are going to really make a difference. It's a fixer-upper planet. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Let's just get past this bumpy stage of like, some people want to suffer further and then you want to go. Let's let them go. Leave with the people you're meant to be with, and they will come with you naturally. Don't force anything. You're really here to refine your self-relationship, to get to know yourself, to get to know the real you, and let the universe supply you with what you need to thrive, because the universe wants you to thrive and be happy and have a wonderful time. So, what was I saying about Clive Barker, this horror segment I saw? So years ago, I heard this great radio interview. I wish you could find it, but basically it was how horror writers got their start. There was Clive Barker, there was some other woman, maybe some others, but basically every one of these cases, these horror writers, they had some kind of horrific experience when they were kids, and they kind of locked into fear. And the way they try to master fear is now they become the dispenser of fear. They become the one who can create the most horrific images and scare other people. But they're not solving what fear represents. They're not getting to a better life. They're maintaining these ideas of horror, and they're spreading it. And it's like, it's complex. I mean, horror writers, like, some are more into redemption than others. And Stephen King is pretty complex. He writes things that just aren't even horror. But basically, like, when I was a teenager, I loved to write. And in my teenage years, I was given opportunities to write horror. I was actually getting horror ideas coming to me. And it's kind of a whisper. I could feel it. It's like, here's another horrible idea you could work on. You'll become famous. You'll become amazing. And I tried writing one of them, and it felt bad. And I was like, no, I don't like this. And I could actually feel like these sort of entities, beings that were kind of pissed off at me. And they were like, okay, fine, we'll take it somewhere else. And they did. I felt like in later years, Stephen King worked with some of the ideas that had come to me. But I don't want to deal with that stuff. I wanted to get to real sci-fi. I wanted to write utopian kind of fantasy sci-fi, but even more, I wanted to get how the universe really works. So I did a lot of dream work. That's a great way to learn how the universe really works. But ultimately, all of this, you're making up stories. It's okay. Whether it's fiction, whether it's storytelling, whether it's the story of your actual life, the whole point is to illustrate the divine principles, show how good the universe really is. That's what makes it real. So I saw this horror scene. It was really interesting. And I remember like years ago, I had seen some stuff from Clive Barker, and it just didn't affect me the same way. It used to be like I'd be horrified. And now I could just look at it and like, that's a person who really doesn't understand how the universe works. To think that there's a source of evil and you have to bargain with it and it has power over you, all of that is so false. I'm sorry what suffering it causes people, but it's just false. It's like, I don't believe it. See, my mind my mind and heart aren't getting invested in it. You can see things from a distance and not get affected by it and be able to steer very clear of it very, very cleanly. You can just get feedback. It's like, oh, seeing that kind of person reminded me. The thing about Clive Barker and horror writers, how they got this start. So Clive Barker, when he was a little boy, he was really scared of the dark, and he would call for his mother. And his mother said something like, "Don't be a sissy," and shut off the light and slam the door. And he had to be there alone in the horrors and the terrors of the darkness. And so he becomes a famous horror writer. Good for him. He gets to like pretend that he's like running things. It's like he's not running things. It's like you get some idea of how we all have adaptations. We all have ways that we automatically figure out a way that how could I be king of this? How could I be on top of it? And then from there you try to get back to having a heart as a human being and go into the spirit side of you, and make some belief choices and run your life with the help of the real universe that loves you. So, and the other woman, there was some female horror writer who was saying that when she was a little girl, her parents let her watch horror movies. She found some horror movies that really upset her, and her parents didn't care. Like, watch whatever you want, whatever. And so she was just horrified, and she was just like this traumatized little kid. So her adaptation was to become a horror writer, to try to master it. So a lot of people are doing what was done to them. They're trying to master it in some way. Obviously, like Clive Barker's mom would have had a totally different life, and he would have had a different life plan. He will have a different life when his mother says like, "Oh, sweetie, hold him, talk to him about fears of the dark, and like, help guide him, help him to love himself." And and the girl, like the parents would be like, "Oh my God, you saw a horror movie? Like, yeah, let's talk with you. Oh my God, yes, there are scary things in the world." Children are resilient. Children are powerful. Grimm's fairy tales and Roald Dahl and some scary stories. They need to know more parents that are willing to be with them in the scary stuff, and the parent has the answer. The kids can feel it. The kid can feel if you are a calm, assured, self-assured master of reality. You are not scared. You know how to figure things out. You can make the world a better place. Kids will love you. And you can help the kid face whatever came their way to face. Trust what comes up to be faced in your life to help other people face what come up in their life. So, yeah, the childhood trauma. So you can change your childhood. Let me conclude. This has probably been pretty long, but it's pretty good, right? This is good stuff. And I enjoy these talks. And I cover the same kind of material from different angles, right? Because it's the same truth. You just get more perspectives and more of my stories and the energy of my presentation, right? Because I've learned to trust my soul family. I used to be so insecure. The two big insecurities are you think you aren't good enough to do stuff, and the universe doesn't want you. Well, no, you find out as you get older and practice your gifts and what the things you love to do. It's like, I am good enough. I can really do this. And secondly, there's a place for me. Like, try to not get locked into like, those people don't want me and I'm stuck and I'm hurt. Like, no, it's a big world. Let there be people who don't want me. I'm looking for people who do want me. And I didn't want those people who didn't want me anyway, really. Even if I convinced them to like me, I wouldn't really feel good having them around. But these people, wow, we start right off the bat. We were on the same page. Like, it's so exciting. We're like long lost, friends. It's like, yeah, you probably are. You know each other in other levels, other lifetimes, which are all simultaneous. But reincarnation, reappearances of incarnations of your soul. So, I wanted to tell you about, inner child healing. Did I ever finish, by the way, emotion meditations, 4 steps? First, notice that you have an energy to feel. Second, set a safe space. 20-minute timer is really good. Feel it. Go ahead. Have the memories, the feelings, like, whatever, like cry, just let it come up. And then at the end of 20 minutes, like, good job, human being. You were so brave and courageous to feel that. Now I'm going to step back and be more of the spiritual being. Let's do something kind for yourself, something well within your means, something nice, like take a walk, hug a tree, have a snack, pet a pet, sing a song, something sweet. Assert that, I want the sweetness of life. I was just processing things with my human self, spirit and human partnership. And then 4th step, be open, be receptive. Things will shift. You'll get clarity on like, I can change a choice here. I can do something different over here. I can, look, here's opportunities that I used to actually kind of run from because I was so insecure. But now I'm going to try it. And I feel like that's where I do belong. Yeah, that's what it feels like. So then inner child healing. Well, just whenever you like have sort of flashbacks, connections, remember a part of yourself, spend some time with that self, maybe emotion meditation or some format. So spend some time. Like, a lot of life is not action. There are key moments you take action, physical action, yes. But a lot of life is like reflection and letting it deeper and enjoying and appreciating and learning about the relationships and how to work with things and just being together. Because the universe already works, so you just want to be with it. Learn to trust it, learn to work with it. You don't have to work hard. You work easy. Work with love. Let yourself be loved. So inner child healing, any kind of self-healing, but especially inner child, just literally, daydream, light meditation, maybe your night dreams, work with them, see which parts are your child. Talk to your inner child. Be your inner child. Remember like what it was like and be the friend you wish you had. Be the parent you wish you had. And usually your inner child is like really eager, like, where have you been? I really needed you. It's like, or your inner teenager or whatever, like recurring dream characters, like they're parts of you. And you can be put off at first because your memories are locked in. Your energy is locked in because of those false beliefs that say it's an impact world and it's only one world and you're stuck with other people. No, it is a world of everyone is in their own bubble of energy. So at first your energy can look like, where have you been? Oh, you look like my ex. It's like, that's where you've been. You're the me who was with my ex and took abuse. So then I'm scared of you because you remind me you look like my ex. But no, it's the self you need to heal with. So be courageous to heal selves. Let them shed whatever kind of situations they were in and talk with them and be with them. So anyway, I've done a lot of work with my child and so on, and sometimes the toddler self, the sense of excitement, but God, I hope somebody's like child-proofing the house for me, right? Looking after me. But the infant, you can have some real infant trauma. Like when you read the newspaper, the news and something, and you just feel this betrayal, deep betrayal of like I was trusting that the parents, the caretakers, they were good, and I was adapting to these mean people in my life, but I thought maybe they were like taking care of me, they were being my heroes, and they were getting rid of bad people, but then they hurt me too, and then I realized like they're really messed up, and like now I find myself later in life supporting dictators. I gotta go back. It's going to fall like a house of cards for a lot of people. Like, oh my God, this goes back to my childhood abuse. I've been putting my faith in like violent, abusive people my whole life. Like, I got to really backtrack out of here. It's pretty intense for a lot of people. But spend some time with your child. Spend some time with the positive parts of you. You're not bad. Remember, every energy is what it is. So you're looking to siphon off to less investment in the negative experiences. Talk to that self, care about it, heal it. It'll go more into the positive side. There's a positive you that's always been there. The love you are, the caring you are, how much you wanted the world to be a wonderful place, the dreams, the positive dreams you had before you were taught to be afraid and think that bad things had to be gotten rid of. no, there's always something positive to tune into. So anyway, one time, well, let me just say briefly, so my family history, I had no direct trauma, but I'm empathic, and my parents had direct trauma, and they were, people who were trying to do their best, but they didn't know fully how to heal. So I remember telling my mother, you could get therapy like I do. And she's like, no, therapy's for messed up people. Therapy's for problems. Like, oh, thanks, Mom. You're saying I have a lot of problems. Well, I guess I kind of think you do. It's like stuff like that. It's like they meant well. But my mother had a lot of horrible nightmare, abusive father. That whole side of the family is really messed up. Votes for dictators, stuff like that. I can't deal with them anymore. I did my best to let them know, I love you as people, but I can't deal with your choices. And they're like, oh, you're such a horrible person. Yeah, that's just the way you think. Okay, it's like, but let him go, let it go. And then on my father's side, he grew up in Nazi Germany. He was a boy in the Hitler Youth. He said it was like Boy Scouts, but they kept going on about somebody named Hitler. And we're just kids. We don't really know what's going on until there's war and there's bombings and there's people are really freaked out and we see some people die and they send us to the countryside to be safe. And he just wanted to get out of Germany when he could. And he came over here and he met my mom, and the two of them are both traumatized, PTSD. And they're we're going to make a new life, a new beautiful life for our kids. And they did their best, and, skeletons in the closet. I felt it. So one time I was really drawn, I would conclude on this anecdote here, give you some sense of, one time I was really drawn to do a meditation, and I felt like this is such a pre-verbal, automatic part of myself. This is the part of me that I feel so unsafe in the world. So unsafe, so freaked out, so I'm going to die, there's nobody I can trust, and I saw myself as a baby in a crib. This vision, this image comes to my head pretty clearly, emotionally, visually, just whatever senses you have, but it's real energy. And I saw by my crib, there was a hole. There was a hole into hell. There were devils, there were horrible things down there. And maybe they come out sometimes, or just the fumes or whatever. It's my baby's next to that. Yeah, my mother couldn't do any better. She's living with that kind of hellhole. So it's okay, Mom, you did your best, but I got to seal up that hole. So I called in angels. We closed the hole. And I felt kind of better right away. When I just blessed my child, my infant in the crib, hug him, give him, it's really sweet. It's really sweet. These are real feelings. This imagination is the gateway to real energies. But then, leave it in the care of angels, and when you've had a real healing connection with an earlier self. And the healing really just is a function of how deeply, honestly, authentically you feel it and you believe it. So work on your beliefs. If you're very critical and skeptical and, oh, bad me, I can't do that stuff. No, start with that. You're not bad, you just need more practice. You need work on the beliefs more. Beliefs are very incremental. They will let in more of the energy, and then you get a little further and change a little more and let it go a little further. Very incremental. You build momentum. But yeah, you come back from a meditation and you feel better. It's something is more peaceful, and you find yourself able to do things and think things and feel things you couldn't before. Yeah, there's been a healing. Real healing isn't just one-off, it isn't like firefighting. A lot of people are in crisis mode, catastrophizing, putting out fires all the time. That's because they're not getting to real healing. Really going through a process of healing, deeply connecting to and retrieving a human self, your part of your soul that was invested in a situation, bringing that back to you, and then having awarenesses of what kind of beliefs and lifestyle choices you can make to have a better direction of your life, and just wish everyone well. You're not fighting, you're not resisting to persist anything. You're just letting your life work, letting your core, your essential service, your core of your soul just give you a beautiful tour of your beautiful eternity ahead of you. When you go with that kind of flow, it works. You come back and you're like, that was a real healing. So yeah, I closed the hellhole next to my crib, and maybe not long after that, because I always had a sort of resentment to my parents. It's like, well, why didn't my mother, as nice as she was, she had PTSD, she was really stressed out, she could really stress us all out, and she wouldn't get therapy, and, times when she would be like kind of nasty, defensive, and not meaning to, but like, if she had just gotten therapy, right? Well, after I closed that hellhole, I was more able to appreciate the good things that she did. It's okay, Mom, you couldn't handle more than you could handle. Like, you did what you could do, and I can do more now. It's wonderful. When you figure out what you can do to heal yourself, that it's never too late. Any kind of idea of too late, you're not good enough, you're too weak, it's too, all false beliefs. Unbelieve that, disbelieve that crap. And I had a sense of my mother come to me kind of as I was meditating, and she said, "Could I be your mother?" And I was like, wow, I just could feel it. It's like a soul is like, she knew that she couldn't be a perfect mother. She'd love to be, but also that I have my own reasons for her being the way she is. We're meeting together in a place where she just does her best and I do my best. And we follow our own paths. We learn to follow our own energy. And I just was like, yeah, you can be my mother. And then I could feel my dad behind her, kind of shy, more shy, because he was a really stressed out person. Did his best, but a workaholic, and wasn't able to really mentor me in some ways that would have helped me to be, more easygoing with myself. Instead, I was pretty demanded of, stressed out like he was. Anyway, I could feel him coming up behind my mother, because they're both in spirit. They're both passed, by the way. Could you feel him coming up and saying, "Can I be your father?" And I was like, "Yeah, Dad. Yeah." And then it occurred to me, I could feel it kind of bubbling up in myself to say, like, "Can I be your son?" And it's like, it was so beautiful. I could feel them saying yes, and just what an incredible, beautiful privilege that is. When you realize that you had the right people in your life at the right time, you really needed someone for this, and they were the ones that showed up, and they did their best, and you did your best, and honestly, you're both learning about how to create your own reality, so don't blame each other, just appreciate each other. And, the hurts hurt, but you learn to understand and forgive, and the good things are forever. And, it's really sweet. It's really poignant. So this has been a long talk. I hope it's helped. Why are they so cruel? Because of the childhood wounding, and they haven't learned how yet to run their own life with the beautiful, loving universe and how to heal their childhood wounds. So their meanness keeps fueling their own self-abuse, trickles down to their child level. You don't want to be like these people who are like, oh, they have money, they have power, I wish you could be like them. No, you don't want to be like them. You don't want to be like the ones who, ill-gained. If there are plenty of people, and we're going to see more of, who are magical, who are amazing, it's like they're just being their own glorious selves, giving and giving, and they receive and receive, and things magically work out. It's like you wish them well, and you may be jealous. You may trigger more of your insecurities. That's why we need to see people who are dysfunctional, because otherwise, if we had only a world of people who are highly functional, we'd be left with nothing but our own insecurity and no way to get a handle on it. So don't look to feel better or worse than people. Just have compassion, understand why things get to where they are, and be secure that you don't have to be stuck with anyone. Work with the living, loving universe. That's your goal. You're building your relationship with your own creatorship. You're learning to recreate the paradise that pre-exists. The best of both worlds, remember. That you can create paradise, but you're not on the hook. You're not stressed out to have to make paradise. You're recreating it. You're filtering through your belief systems. You're finding the filters that are like beautiful clear glass or stained glass, building a stained glass window to let the light through. Unlike the false negative beliefs, they just they trap you in a hole, and you see ugly things, you feel and think ugly things. Like, that can't be the way it is. It's not the way it is. You got to feel it to heal it. You'll think it to drink it to I don't know, something. I want to make rhymes, but anyway, that's enough said. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps my friends And it helps me too. I really benefit from these because it's your own dialogue. You are healing, you are learning to heal your human self, and you share your relationship with your human being with others. That's what we're doing. I'm sharing what works for me with people who it would work for. Find me, I'll find you. We'll have a great world together. Thank you. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and dale in slumber sleeping. I my loving vigil keeping all through the night. Love, to thee my thoughts are turning all through the night. All for thee my heart is yearning all through the night. O'er thy spirit gently reeling, visions of delight are revealing. Breeze a pure and holy feeling all through the night.